Well, ladies and gentlemen, what's going on tonight? How are you? As your New York Knicks lose to the Charlotte Hornets, they get stung by the Charlotte Hornets by a final score of 114 to 103. Little bit of appreciate you guys in the chat. Thanks for trickling in here. Once again, I'm Anthony from Knicks Nation. If you're new here, hello. Welcome in. Welcome in. 7-game win streak has come to a close, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate all the members in here. How are you, El Figgy? What's going on? See you in the chat. This Rover. Say Quizzy says, get me to the playoffs at this point. Man, oh man. Maybe the 3 seed doesn't feel so bad after all. Wow. 3 seed don't seem too bad after all, right? I do not want to play this team. I do not want to play the Charlotte Hornets. I'm telling you, man, Charlotte's going to knock someone out in the first round. They are. They have hit a 180 on their season. And they're going to knock someone out in the first round. And I just hope it ain't us. Look, this was their Knicks' toughest test in over 2 weeks, right? And it showed. It showed, man. They got killed on the glass. It just got out hustled. Offensive rebounding. You know, coming into this basketball game, the Knicks won 7 straight games. And, you know, there's a reason why I predicted a 7-game winning streak, because I looked at the Hornets, this tough 4-game road trip. And the Hornets are a good team, man. The Hornets have been playing better. Way better, and tonight showed it. You know, tonight showed it. And a lot of Knicks fans within the 7-game winning streak weren't impressed even with the 7-game winning streak based on the competition that the New York Knicks faced during that 7-game winning streak. To keep it kind of real with you guys. But they lose to a hot Hornets team, and do not sleep on them. Don't sleep on them. I can absolutely see this Charlotte Hornets team giving somebody trouble in the first round, man. They play hard. They crash the glass, and they don't quit. They're young. You know, they're a team that a Knicks team struggles with. They shoot a bunch of threes, and they make them. They got shooters, man. They got shooters on their team, man. This game actually started like blow for blow. Like both teams were getting after it one another. And I was like, okay, let's go. Like this is going to be like it felt like a nice playoff atmosphere type of game. You had a bunch of Knicks fans in Charlotte. I would say that building was 60-40 Knicks fans. They just really didn't have anything to cheer for. But first quarter, Jalen Brunson was absolutely incredible. But again, the Knicks starters just came out flat other than Jalen Brunson, right? And then as soon as that bench comes in, Mitchell Robinson actually finished the game over Karl-Anthony Towns. You know, Mitchell Robinson finished the game over Karl-Anthony Towns, and, you know, Cat was a kind of a no-show here tonight. But, yeah, blow for blow start, and it was a fun watch, you know. But the rebounding is they were awful. They were god-awful. The Knicks rebounding was terrible. I mean, they finished the game with 24. Is that right? 24 boards? Knicks had 24 rebounds. The Hornets had 43. Double the amount of rebounds the New York Knicks had. That's terrible. Look, Charlotte is second in the NBA in second chance points, and they showed you exactly why. They showed you exactly why, man. They're relentless on the glass. They are absolutely relentless on the glass. But first quarter, JB gives you, 17 in that first quarter. He's out there winning tip-offs, and he draws the three-point play. JB was locked in. The captain was playing at a high level, and then when he came out the game, the Alvarado minutes in the second quarter were terrible. It was a big, the Jose Alvarado minutes, and Tyler Kolek played over him in the second half, and that's what kind of propelled this Hornets team is those minutes. The non-Jalen Brunson minutes tonight were awful, right? When Jalen Brunson went to the bench, it got ugly. They struggled bad. Running the offense without him didn't look good. And Alvarado looked terrible. And Mike Brown saw that and went to Kolek in the second half. And look, it didn't really work. But, Mike Brown wanted to switch some things up because the offense was just flat without Jalen Brunson on the court. No rhythm, nothing, no control within that offense. And, Alvarado here, man, is a little shaky. A little shaky ground Alvarado's in right now as a New York Knick. With Deuce McBride, reportedly, James Edward III is reporting that McBride might be ready for the game against the Oklahoma City Thunder. And if that's the case, Alvarado, buddy, man, might want to keep that seat warm. But fast break points, I don't think the Knicks had a fast break point up until the fourth quarter. This rhythm, the Karl Anthony Towns, they were kind of, I wouldn't say they were icing him out the game. He only attempted 8 shots, but still, I just think that the Hornets were just being physical with them. I mean, Towns was struggling against Diabate. Diabate was a ball of energy for Charlotte, and Towns just didn't have any answer for him. That's why you saw Mitchell Robinson in there, because Mitch actually looked like he gave a shit tonight. And, Towns, the effort just wasn't there. And here we are. we lose to the Hornets. I know that Josh Hart kind of made it close there at the end. Shout out to him. But, man, I don't really, as soon as the competition goes up for the New York Knicks, they lose. And like Say Quizzy says early on in the chat, I kind of just want the playoffs to start at this point. Because I really don't know what Knicks team is going to show up. I said this prior at the end of the game against the Pelicans. They can go on this 4-game road trip, and you really don't know what team shows up. And tonight, defensively, they did not look like one of the best defenses in the NBA over the last 30 games. They did not. So you can either scratch this off as a one-off, first road game in a while. Hornets are at home. They've been tough. They play with energy. Or you can be concerned about this one. But look, there's 8 games after this one. Boston won yesterday against the Thunder, so the 2 seed, you become further and further away from that 2 seed, but many Knicks fans at this point are probably not going to mind that because the 2 seed might get these boys in the first round. The Hornets, as they keep stinging people. They're a good group, man. They play tough. They're even if it's against the Pistons or the Celtics, they're going to give someone a run for their money. And the Hornets are actually the Hornets actually have played the Celtics well this year. Hornets beat Boston, I think, in Boston. Hornets are good, man. Hornets are good. It's not just us that they're beating. They beat Boston. They're good. They're a good squad. So appreciate every single one of you guys in the chat. Make sure you guys get those likes up. Appreciate you guys. Subscribe, all the good stuff. We are just getting started over here at the Knicks Nation post-game show. How are we feeling tonight, guys? How are we feeling tonight? Buzzer beater, what's going on? Black S because Jose is the new campaign right now. Yeah, hot and cold, right? Hot and cold. 24 to 43 on the rebound, says say Quizzy. That's a big, man. I mean, come on now. Bruh. Man. Outclassed. And that's uncharacteristic for this Knicks team, as they are one of the best rebounding teams in the NBA. But the Hornets, second in second chance opportunities, man. They got guys flying all over the court. They do. They look like a team that wants to get out of this play-in tournament. But, man, the rebounding battle was just abysmal. Worst rebounding game this year as a Knicks team. I mean, Mike Brown said it at the end of the game. He said the rebounding was terrible, and he was right. He was right. Missing Sham and Deuce. El Figgy says Towns was going through some personal stuff. Yeah, he is. Going through some personal stuff. He was balling. He was balling, though. And then, we get the Hornets. Now, the physicality, though. Towns didn't seem like he wanted nothing of it tonight. Nothing. I mean, Diabate was just, the effort was just unreal. And, they just got bench contributions and just the hustle plays just weren't there for the New York Knicks tonight, man. They weren't. It wasn't there at all. OG Anunoby saved the New York Knicks, I think, in that, what was it, the third or second quarter, where OG Anunoby kind of saved them because he kept hitting. There's times when OG just can't miss, by the way. 5 and 9 from 3 tonight, and his shot is on. He seems like he got that thing scoped up. His shot is on. Second quarter, where OG Anunoby hit some big threes, and it kept the Knicks afloat in that second quarter, right? And then Mikal Bridges hit some big quick buckets in that quarter. And those moments mattered in that quarter because the Hornets were making a run in that quarter. And the Knicks were keeping it close, man. It wasn't really like a blowout up until the end of the third, where the Hornets had an 18-point lead heading into the fourth. So, And the Hornets closed the half on a 15-6 run after that. Those even with those OG's threes, like imagine without those OG's threes, this would have been a way more score disparity than what it is today, than what the final score dictates. But yeah, this loss stinks. It does, because if you look at the standings now, look, depending on, I want the second seed still. Boston gives you that big win yesterday against the Oklahoma City Thunder. You are now a full game behind Boston with 8 to go. 8 or 9 to go for the New York Knicks. And still very much doable. But you're on a tough trip here, right? You're on a tough trip, and it started with Charlotte. And now you go to OKC on Sunday and have to deal with them. So, 8 games left. 8 games left for the New York Knicks and 1 game back of Boston. So, yeah, but at least you get 2 days off now. You get Friday, Saturday, recharge, and let's get back at it on Sunday. CJ, what's going on? Salutes. Buzzer Beater, what's going on? Salutes. El Figgy says, let's see how we look against OKC. That will be a statement win. Let's see. Buzzer Beater says disappointing loss. Chris Gotti says no MSG South tonight. They were in there, Chris. Knicks didn't really give them anything to cheer for. I see a bunch of Knicks fans in Charlotte. As we all know, New Yorkers move down south, Charlotte, Florida, Atlanta. Get away from the cold. A bunch of Knicks fans in the building. Bunch of Knicks fans I follow that were in the building. You heard them early on. You heard them when Jalen Brunson was cooking them in that first quarter. And that looked like prime Jalen Brunson. So for everyone that said Jalen Brunson lost a step, I'm sorry. He did not lose a step because Jalen Brunson looked absolutely incredible in that first quarter. Was cooking him. He finishes with 26. So after that first quarter, he kind of got shut out a little bit. But that's when other guys need to step up. OG stepped up. Hart stepped up in that fourth quarter. Mikal did some things. But your second best scorer in Karl-Anthony Towns, wasn't his night. It wasn't his night down in Charlotte. S says, feeling like I don't want Charlotte in the first round. Yeah. Look, if There's a possibility if this New York Knicks team finishes the 2nd seed and Charlotte gets out of their first round play-in game, there's a possibility that, depending on where Charlotte finishes, that either Charlotte gets the 2nd seed or the 1st seed in the first round. Now, if you're a Knicks fan, I want one of these other teams to deal with these guys in the first round. Charlotte has given Boston some trouble this year without Tatum. I get it. But, you know, I know a Celtics fan, and he doesn't want to face Charlotte, man. Charlotte gives him problems, right? Alan Hahn said on his show today that one of these top 4 teams are going to get knocked out by somebody in the first round. And I can totally see, especially after watching Charlotte, haven't really been watching them, but after watching Charlotte tonight, boy, I could totally see that. Johnson says Hornets is a big trouble for any team in the playoffs. Yeah, Chris. OG went off in a second. CJ says put the young guys in to match their energy. Yeah, look. The minutes that Alvarado had tonight were so bad, man. They were bad. 5 minutes of nothing. 5 minutes and he gives you 2 turnovers in those 5 minutes, to a point where Mike Brown just had enough and yanked them, but then they called a timeout. So then Jalen Brunson came back in the game. But that's when, in the second half, he went to Tyler Kolek. And look, Kolek came in here in the second half, just, he didn't do anything, but it's good to see Mike Brown do that, because that's what's going to happen in the playoffs, guys. If Alvarado's going to have 5 minutes of absolutely nothing and give you 2 turnovers, I'm sorry, he probably would get iced out. And I want to see, you know, a game like tonight where the Hornets have fresh legs, fresh young legs, and running and gunning. Mo D, give me 20 minutes. Give me 20, 25 minutes. Thought he could have played more. 13 minutes from OD. Give me some more minutes for him. He seems like he got his shot in a scope, right? I would have loved some more minutes from OD. Mitchell Robinson just has been incredible lately. We know what he brings. I mean, we had a nice moment between Mitch and Huck Porty where Mitchell Robinson was, I think I posted a short about it that you guys can check out. Mitch was explaining to him the art of rebounding and how he studied misses from the New York Knicks when he was on the bench. So, yeah, Clarkson comes in, gives you 8 points, but defensively kind of took a step back tonight. And look, the Hornets are young, lengthy, and good. Really good. A couple of times, Jalen Brunson got caught with Bridges where they found him, and Brunson got caught in defensively. Just, yeah, man, just, bleh. Like, it's just one of those games you kind of want to forget Will Smith, Men in Black, like Flash, and just move on. And I'm just hoping that 2 days off, you know, look, 7-game winning streak is over. And I know a lot of people are probably overreacting, and there are concerns. Like I'm not going to say there's concerns, but it just feeds the fuel of what people, including myself, worry about this Knicks team, right? Because the 7-game winning streak was cool, but who do they play? They didn't play anybody. Who do they play? That was a given. That was the easiest stretch of the season. Now, they had some good games during that stretch. The Pelican game was a good game. The Washington game was a good game. It was against Washington. I mean, you barely scraped by Brooklyn. Indiana game was good when you decided to play. You barely scraped by Golden State. Utah. All right, let's go through this. Because now we're going to dissect the 7-game winning streak, which is kind of unfair because of the loss tonight against the Charlotte Hornets. Utah was winning not majority of that game, but the Knicks had a great third quarter when the Utah Jazz just decided to not play anymore. Indiana You beat Indiana in Indiana. Close, but you beat them. Golden State, you barely scrape by Golden State. Indiana, great second half. Let's not remember. Brooklyn, you barely scraped by them. The Wizards, to lay up for any team. Pelicans game was the best win of the streak. And you beat them by 5. Then the competition rises. And then you face the Charlotte Hornets and you lose. Look, I'm not going to lie to you and say that's not a little bit, I'm not going to say alarming, but it's a little bit of a concern. But that's why I put the Sunday game at OKC and at Houston. These next two are important for this team because you kind of want to get the stench out of the air. Like, you don't want this thing to carry over because you already have a certain portion of the fan base that didn't really care about the 7-game win. I mean, the wins are nice, but it's how they looked during that 7-game winning streak, which was kind of concerning to some people, right? Even after some of the post games, like, I would come on and say, yeah, like Brunson would say a win's a win, which is cool, but how they looked wasn't that great. And then they face the Charlotte Hornets tonight and they lose. So, look, there's only a handful of these games left. Ultimately, you don't know what to feel until the playoffs start, guys. You don't. I mean, I think they're gonna surpass the win total from last year. They're going to be a top 3 seed in the Eastern Conference. It's just a matter of who they get matched up with. But the inconsistencies have been here all year. They have been. So, we'll see. We'll see. Once again, appreciate you guys in the chat. You guys can hit the Discord if you guys wanted to call into the show. The link is pinned up in the chat. Shout out to you guys in the chat. Let's hear what you guys are saying. CJ says maybe we was looking at OKC. Hopefully we don't get smoked. Somebody said the rookie, man. He's nice. Knepel. That's how you pronounce his name, right? Knepel. He's nice, man. He's nice, man. 6 of 10 from 3, 9 of 14, 26 points, 8, almost a triple. He's nice, man. Look, Hornets got some great players on that team. You know, LaMelo has seemed like he's figured it out. Brandon Miller had a great rookie year. The injuries have always been there for him, but he's a sniper. 21. I mean, they got some good players, man. Then they acquire Kobe White, and then he gives them 17 off the bench. Right? And then they got Zion James, who looks like an NFL running back coming into the game. Dude looks like a running back, man. He's built like a tank. I was like, bro, this is a basketball player. Looks like a football player. He's in there for defense. I got Grant Williams, the Globetrotter play that they pulled off in the fourth quarter. I'm like, what is happening here? What is happening here to this Knicks team? So, yeah, guys. Say Quizzy says, I know how you feel. It's like a fake 7 games, but you had hard times beating everyone, and now you play somebody that might be in the playoffs and go down by 20. Oof. Man. Yeah, Josh. Hornets are young, and they got picks. These are the teams that they're 39 and 14. I remember early on in the season, we played them and we smoked them. And I'm like, dude, the Hornets suck again. Another year in Charlotte where the Hornets suck. They don't suck, man. They don't suck. Respect your opponent. They're good. Like, they're not just good. In my opinion, they're really good. They should not be a 9th seed. They, like, to be honest with you guys, they have a chance to jump to number 6 in the Eastern Conference. Look how close these games are. The play-in teams they're not locked, but these are the teams that are gonna, like, the Bucks are not making the playoffs, Bulls are not making the playoffs. They haven't been eliminated yet, but the Heat have been on a losing streak. They won, but Hornets have an opportunity to jump all the way to 6 and possibly 5th. They're only game and a half back of 6th. A game and a half. And then you, if you stay number 3, you get them in the first round. If they jump to 6. Now, this changes daily, right? This changes daily. But if the season ended today, the Knicks will play the Toronto Raptors. Now we got the 76ers up there. So who knows at this point, right, guys? But there are certain teams that give the Knicks issues. And what the Hornets just laid out there tonight is a prototypical team that will give the Knicks issues, right? They're defending the 3, the running and gunning, kind of beating the Knicks at their own game, but shooting the 3 better, right? So we'll see, guys. We'll see. El Figgy says a big problem tonight was coaching or lack thereof. Yeah. This was the stat line. Like, I took a screenshot. This was the stat line. I think this was at the end of the first half. This was it. Towns had 3 shots. Hart 3 shots. Bridges 5. This was the end of the first half, where we kind of felt how we felt like in January, where Towns kind of got shut out of the offense. Now, to be fair, Brunson was cooking. OG Anunoby couldn't miss. But I just thought, like, when Alvarado came in the game, and look, to be fair, Alvarado was given it to Towns. Towns just, and there was a point in the game where Towns actually got going offensively in the third. And I'm like, okay, let's like, Towns is feeling it now. Hits a 3. You know, the Hornets were trying to take away the walk-up 3s for Towns, and they were doing a pretty good job at that. But I just think sometimes offensively, even though we're a really good offensive team, sometimes offensively, like, we need to move the ball more. Sometimes. Right? Now, the numbers could be skewed by the opponents that we faced. The lack thereof good teams in this streak, right? Or during this, hot defensive stretch that the Knicks have been in. Number 1 defense over the last 30 games, I believe. The Knicks. Right? And let's be fair. Let's credit the Hornets. They were shooting lights out tonight. They were shooting lights out. Contested, non-contested. They were shooting lights out. Knicks just couldn't get over the hump. Just could not get over the hump. So, let's get some highlights on your screen, ladies and gentlemen, as the New York Knicks fall to the Charlotte Hornets.
Beautiful night.
Whoa. Let me mute that. They fall to the Charlotte Hornets by a final score of 103 to 114. Sucks. Absolutely sucks. But here we are. Sucks because Brunson was cooking in the first quarter. And it kind of brought me back to, like, because a lot of people were saying Brunson lost a step because of the ankle. But boy, did he look good. He looked good. He looks ready. He looks ready for a playoff run. He looks ready. He looks healthy, even though I see him limping at times. The ankle will always be an issue for him. That's why I kind of want to give him some rest when the playoffs start. Prior to the playoffs. And that's the only thing I'm worried about right now is rest and continuity. So, away we go. Slow Runner says, this Knicks team reminds me of the Fizdale Knicks. Nah. How could you say the Fizdale Knicks? the trash Fizdale Knicks. How does this Knicks team remind you of the Fizdale Knicks when we're third in the East, top 5 offense, top 5 defense, and poised for another championship run? Hopefully. No way. No way. Josh the Wiz, what's going on? What's going on, Josh the Wiz? Josh the Wiz says, my thing with the Hornets is they are playing so well, being so young with so many draft picks that they have so many options on what to do. I don't think our Knicks have that. I think we do. I think we do. Hornets, look, no matter who they play, like, even though I say, like, they're going to give a team problems in the first round, like, if we get matched up with them, the inexperience in the playoffs, we have tons of experience over them, right? This is a regular season game. Let's not forget that. This is a regular season game. Come playoff time, when you know, people are trembling and they step foot in the Garden, like, I don't think this is happening for a young team like the Hornets, right? Now, I could be totally off base here, but come playoff time, I don't foresee this. Like, if we get matched up hypothetically with the Charlotte Hornets in the first round, like, come on, like, there's no way like we should lose that series. Like, maybe they'll get a couple of games and make it tough like the Pistons did, and maybe it'll be a grind, but 4 games, like, they're not beating us 4 times, because I just think we have tons of experience. Right? So, again, they're good. They're going to give somebody a run for the money in the first round. But if it's against us, like, we have tons of experience over them, you know, and experience shows in the playoffs, you know, inexperience shows as well. Like, we saw versus Detroit, you know, Cade, as much as, like, he was struggling for them, shooting efficiently for them in the playoffs last year against us. He was struggling. And the lights get brighter in the playoffs. It's not a game in March. You know, it's not. And again, I don't want to get into the Knicks mindset on how they took this game, how seriously they took this game. I hate to do that, because then you kind of already bake in an excuse, because it's like, I think they're taking these games serious because they want the 2 seed. I really do think they want the 2 seed. Jalen Brunson has said, control what you can control. We got to win these games. And they put out a lineup, their all-star lineup, and it's not like they're resting anyone. They won tonight's game. They won tonight's game. So, again, the Hornets have been doing this to a lot of good teams in the NBA. A lot. Boston included. And we're a part of that now. So it's how you want to look at, how you want to judge these last 8 games heading into the playoffs, right? You thought the 7-game winning streak, but to be fair, again, it's been against inferior competition. I'm just being real. And that's okay. Like, that, you play who's on your schedule. I don't make the schedule. The Knicks don't make the schedule. You play who's on your schedule. You get in a position to get the 2nd seed. And that's what the Knicks have done. Size 9 says the Warriors game. And what about the Warriors game? I don't ignore the Warriors game. They almost lost to the G League team. I said after the post game, that was the game. That was the game I came on after the post game. And I believe Yuri was like, oh, like, quit bitching, a win's a win. And I'm like, nah, man, I hold this team to a higher standard. That's where I'm at as a Knicks fan. I hold this team to a higher standard than others. You're supposed to beat the teams you're supposed to win. And the 7-game proved that they win, right? They won. Didn't look as pretty. They won. So tonight you run into a hot Hornets team. Both teams are hot. Hornets are hot. Knicks are hot. And again, right out the gate, you're down 8-10 points. Mike Brown has to call timeout. It's like another start that just didn't look well. And when Mitchell Robinson came in, Jordan Clarkson came in, it kind of changed the defense, right? Cat opened up this game defensively, just didn't want to play. And again, I know he's going through some personal stuff, so it's I don't know though. Like I just have to. He's out there. That I just have to judge him because he's out there on the floor. You know, so the start to this game wasn't pretty. It was a prototypical Knicks start. So away we go. Look, man, we got. I see El Figgy say Quizzy, Yuri waiting in the Knicks Nation. I can't even talk tonight. Knicks Nation post-game call-in show. Please be patient. I'll get to your calls in a little bit. Once again, appreciate you guys in the chat. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, all the good stuff. The New York Knicks, they lose to the Charlotte Hornets. They get stung. We got stung. You got stung? I'm trying to get what Mike Brown has said, because I know he's spoken right after the game. He spoke. Mike Brown says our pick and roll defense wasn't good. Mike Brown also said they kicked our ass. They kicked our ass on the glass. Yes, they kicked our ass on the glass, and their pick and roll defense wasn't good. And that's the game. The Knicks got out hustled on the glass. Terrible rebounding game for the New York Knicks, guys. Terrible. So, sucked. One of these games, man, it sucks. Let's get to the Knicks Nation callers. All right, let's get to El Figgy. You're up first here at the Knicks Nation call-in show. How are you?
I don't know. I mean, tonight is kind of like a mixed bag of feelings and emotions. Look, I know I heard what you just said about the Knicks wanting this win tonight, and Jalen Brunson saying, we want the second seed and we're going to go after it. That might be very true for Jalen, but this isn't a one-man show.
Yep.
He's out there, he's hooping. However, everybody's got to want it. And if you watch again the first quarter, the Hornets are pushing pace. They're driving the ball up fast, hard, aggressive, with urgency. And what do? We take the ball, dribble. Nobody down in the paint, no ball movement. Everybody who gets on Jalen's case about ISO ball, what choice does he have?
Yeah, he was awesome, man. He was without Jalen Brunson tonight, the Knicks would have lost by like 40, man.
I'll give OG his flowers too, because OG kept it on. I think OG kept it honest, especially in that second quarter.
Yep.
Am I very, very worried about the Charlotte Hornets? Not really, because I do believe that when the playoffs start, a different Knicks team shows up. A Knicks team that, when the game is win or go home, I think we do show up. I think that Cat is not going to have another. Cat has led the league in double-doubles. Cat's not going to have another game like tonight.
Yeah.
That's not typical Karl Anthony Towns. Did Diabate abuse him tonight? Sure. But it was funny because I was talking to a friend of mine who lives in Charlotte. The buzz in that town today and the way that town was treating this game, they were going to treat the Charlotte Hornets came out like it was Game 7 tonight, and it showed.
Yeah. They wanted to show the league that they're legit, and they're really good. They've turned their season around. They look really good tonight.
Yeah, and no knock on them. I'm not saying that they're not contenders or whatever, but they're not there quite yet. Again, I think that when the Knicks get into the playoffs and it's And when it's a situation where it's win or go home, I think we will show up. I think the Josh Hart who's been shooting lights out through. I think the ball movement needs to be better. I want to see Mike Brown get the ball moving. And when we play a fast-paced, aggressive, physical team like this, whether it be everybody in the chat saying this reminds me of a Detroit Pistons game, perfectly said. It's physical.
Yep.
I mean, how many times did we go up for dunks and we got slapped down like a misbehaved child? I think Diawara got slapped down tonight. I think Cat even got knocked down tonight going up for a dunk.
Yeah, big
OG
blocks from their end. Yeah.
They played tonight like they wanted this. This is their statement game. With this win now tonight, they're now saying we're here. We want to be considered, we want to be taken seriously. They earned that. They earned that win tonight. Did the Knicks go in there with that kind of urgency and ready to play like that? I don't think so. I could tell from, again, Jalen, yeah, he played great tonight, but nobody else came out with that kind of fire and heat. He was really the only one. Kat, Mitch, Josh, I don't even think did any of them get into double rebounds tonight?
No.
I didn't even check the box score yet.
No.
Not one of them.
Defense, Mitch was an issue, but nobody got double rebounds tonight. Josh Hart had 7.
And that's not typical numbers for Josh Hart or Mitch or Kat. We know that. And that really is the game right there. They beat us on the glass. The boards were terrible. I mean, the turnovers again, sloppy turnovers, not playing as if this game mattered. And if you want to say if I'm disappointed in the Knicks for anything, not because I think that they're going to get knocked out by a team like the Hornets in the playoffs, but because they don't take these regular season games seriously like I wish they would, because that's how a contender moves. A contender doesn't come out here and do what we did tonight. They don't move like that.
Yep. Hey, you're right. El Figgy, really good points. Appreciate you calling into the show.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you. Let's go to, look, she made some really good points. And look, a contender doesn't move like this. And the New York Knicks, 7-game winning streak, but man, it was a grind getting through those 7 games, right? And look, cruise control for me. I'm watching. I'm like I'm on top of I'm watching from a distance here. Like I want to see how this Knicks team closes out this season because they're not going to ultimately be judged into the playoffs. Yuri, you up next? What's going on, Yuri?
Yeah, everything that El Figgy said, I kind of have to agree with her on that. I'm on cruise control right now. 9 games left in the season. It feels like they're coasting to the playoffs, and because you can tell they didn't want to. They're trying to avoid injuries right now. You can tell. You know what I mean? They're getting everyone back healthy, right?
Yeah.
Shamit's coming back soon. Deuce is coming back. Rumor is Deuce is back on Sunday, by the way. So keep a lookout for that.
Yeah, I brought up James Edwards saying that. Yep.
Like I said, I'm not, worried about the Hornets. They're on a magical run right now. Good for them. This was their statement game. Figgy brought up a good point that I wish we would take these regular games seriously. But part of me can't stop thinking that they're just coasting until the playoffs. And that's a
who do the Hornets?
That's a dangerous game they're playing.
Who do the Hornets remind you of, Yuri? They kind of remind me of the Pacers a little bit.
Pacers, not the Pistons.
No, I said they kind of remind me of the Indiana Pacers. That's who they remind me of. But we'll see. Playoffs are a different animal. I'm not going to say I'm not worried about them because I do think they'll give somebody a hard time. I don't think they'll give us a hard time, but we'll see.
Because we're going to lock in when it matters most. I'm not really worried about this game. 9 games left. Tough schedule coming up. I don't think we got exposed. Shout out to all the Hornets. They had a great game tonight. They showed out. They did what they had to do.
Yeah.
But again, playoffs is a different game. I don't expect Cat to have a bad game like he did tonight. Mikal, give and take, right?
Yeah, he got going there in the second half, but yeah, I mean, 14. I don't think he's cracked 15 points in quite a while. if I'm not
Listen,
mistaken.
as long as he gives me 14 points, I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
And I'm not
you
not worried about it.
Yeah,
Oh,
he hasn't
I can't
cracked
judge
15
it much.
points since the Thunder game back in early March.
I'm not, and I need to see this team in the playoffs. I'm not too judging no one.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Yuri. I agree. But we'll see how they
And
close it out.
playoffs is where this team's going to be either exposed or they're going to come out swinging.
Yep.
One of the two.
Yep.
I genuinely wasn't surprised by the loss tomorrow, to be honest. I wasn't surprised by it.
Appreciate you, Yuri, for the call in. Knicks Water Bar, they'll get to your call in a little bit, so just be patient.
No problem.
Say Quizzy, you up next. What's going on? Say Quizzy.
You hear me?
Yeah, I got you. What's going on, bro?
Tough L. But it don't make it worse than I watched Boston yesterday beat OKC. I was over here, an OKC fan, talking about let's go.
Yeah, now all the talk today was Boston's
lose.
make it to the finals, but yeah.
Just for them to lose and now see the Knicks lose tonight, it sucks. Because only Brunson showed up, and I know people was worried about Brunson and his struggles, but I always say I'm not worried about it because, look, the competition got a little better, and he stepped up. Mm-hmm. So it was like when Brunson was struggling, I'm like, that might be a good thing. He get a rest. OG showed out, and I give Clarkson some credit. Today, Cat did not show up. I thought he would he started playing a little better in the second half, but it was just not enough. But the Hornets, I understand the Hornets was playing good, but to get out rebound 24-43.
Yeah.
Jeez. And what I think Knipple, whatever your name is, he had like 11 rebounds.
He's nice.
And he's a shooting guard.
He's nice.
That rookie is nice. I'm like, bro, he cooked us with all jump shots.
Him,
bro.
Miller, they're nice. You know, Ball
and
hit
every
some.
Every time they missed and they got a rebound, felt like every shot they threw up was cash. And then when they miss, oh, here comes a rebound. I'm like, yo, they playing like us right now.
Mm-hmm.
We supposed to be getting these rebounds.
Yeah.
But hopefully we could just get to the playoffs. At this point, I'm just focused on the playoffs, get to the playoffs healthy, because I'm just waiting for the moment where playoffs start and I'm just screaming defense through my TV. Because I could just forget about the regular season, because playoffs are two different things. I think I'd be losing my voice every single game through playoffs. So I ain't too worried. We got 8 games left.
Yep.
6 of those games versus playoff teams. We'll see if the Knicks really want the second seed or not.
Yep.
Because I think we got Bulls and Grizzlies. Those could be winnable. We'll see what the Knicks do. But after that, it's like Toronto, Boston, OKC, Rockets, Hornets again. So those teams got something to fight for. So we'll see what the Knicks do. But that's all I got to say.
Appreciate you, Say Quizzy. Always appreciate their support. Let's get to Knicks Waterboard. You were last tonight. What's going on, Knicks Waterboard? How are you? Welcome to the Knicks Nation postgame show.
What's going on? Chilling.
What up?
Well, I mean, first off, I'm not surprised we lost, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just that over like the stretch of this winning streak, not a single win actually impressed me.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be honest. Not a single one impressed me. Not a single one that I feel like we really won in comfortable fashion. Even with the Wizards, like we were kind of struggling with the Wizards at one point. Then we kind of went away from it, but at least that was the only time. With Pelicans, we were struggling with the Pelicans, right? I think that every time that keeps happening, like it's destined to fail, because Brunson keeps doing his thing, and I like that. He was passing the ball like crazy. I think he had 13 assists,
12 or 13,
something
assists.
like that.
I glossed over that.
Like you can't ask much more for Brunson. I can't lie, right? And so just based off that, I think the simple fact is Mikal tried to get more aggressive. I guess at the beginning, the dude just wasn't hitting anything.
Yeah.
But if he was being more aggressive, I guess, right? I think Cat did not want the ball in the first half.
Yeah.
I'm just being honest. It did not look like he wanted the ball. I don't remember in the first half. Maybe you can tell me if I'm wrong. Did you see him actually drive one time in the paint?
He was more. They were
In the
using
first
him
half?
more as a distributor. He actually made a couple of nice passes in the first half.
Yes.
But not if I maybe he did one, but yeah, I don't remember him driving in the first half. But they were using him more as a distributor, like they have been, and he was
Right.
He's trying to get everyone else involved. But there's times when we would just want him to take
Right,
over.
you do it. right, you do it.
Yeah.
I think it's also one lineup that really confused me, and I don't know why we did it. Well, I understand why we did it, but it didn't make sense at the time. Mike Brown put Mitchell Robinson and Cat at the same time when the problem was that they are too fast for us. So we bring in slower guys. That just did not make sense to me. If we are getting killed in the 3-point line, why are we getting a rim protector in? Right? That didn't make sense to me.
The adjustment should have been going smaller, but Mike Brown had, to be fair, he has used the double big lineup lately, and it has worked tremendously for this team. But yeah, tonight he should have deviated to something else. I agree.
No doubt. And then protecting Brunson. God, they hunted Brunson down every play with Miles Bridges.
Yep.
Jesus Christ. And then if someone tried to help, swing it to the corner, swing it, 3. Mm-hmm. It happened every time. My Lord, it happened every time. And you would think Mike Brown or Rick Brunson or even Brunson himself say, hey guys, we kind of have to stop this from happening. But no, the whole game, not a single change happened. It was ridiculous to me, to be honest.
Yeah, and they were attacking Brunson, and like you said, they removed. They shot 30? What they shoot from 3? The Hornets 39%, 16 of 41. They had 28 assists. Yeah, that was
no doubt.
That was their offense right there. Hey, great call, man. Appreciate you calling into the show.
No problem, man. You have a good one.
You have a good one as well. Shout out to you. Shout out to all the callers in here. That was a great call. Knicks Waterboy. Shout out to Knicks Waterboy. Call into the Knicks Nation post-game show. Shout out to all of you in the chat. Make sure you guys subscribe, like, all the good stuff. As your New York Knicks lose to the Charlotte Hornets 14-103. Yeah, guys. Like Knicks Waterboy said, couple of questionable, like El Figure brought it up, it wasn't a good coached basketball game. The double big lineup tonight, it's going to be matchup based. But lately, the double big lineup has been working. But like I said, I wanted to see more Mo D out there. It's a game like tonight where I just thought like Mo D, maybe he should, Kolek should have been in there. Like, I don't know, guys. Alvarado, what do you think about this Alvarado thing now? Because if he's going to be inconsistent like this, I mean, the problems fix themselves, right? The good problems to have with Deuce McBride coming back, that's going to be an easy choice. It's Deuce. As much as I want Alvarado to work, and it has worked, to be fair, it has worked, 80% of 70% of the time? The games where it hasn't worked, it just hasn't. He just looks small. They're attacking him. And if he's not dishing, if he's not hitting his threes, and it's just like, what's the point of being out there? But, I mean, with Shamet and Miles McBride thrown in the mix, I don't think there's an avenue for Jose Alvarado to play. I don't. Because you have Clarkson. I think he's already entrenched himself in the rotation. And I made a Clarkson video that you guys could check out. Would really appreciate that. He's been playing awesome. Defensively, I think, I'm not even going to say defensively he took a step back tonight. I just think as a whole, as a Knicks team, they took a step back defensively. I don't want to point the finger at one individual. Nostalgic, what's going on? Appreciate you. Size 9 says Diawara was chucking. Size 9, Diawara was chucking, but he's been, for the most part, one of the Knicks' most consistent three-point shooters, to be fair, off that bench. Right? He was the only Knick off the bench to attempt a three. 1 of 4. They didn't shoot poorly. Guys, they shot 38% from 3, 51% from the field. It's this number right here that killed them. 24 boards. And it's not like the Hornets are a poor rebound. That's what the Hornets do. Again, second best team in second chance points this season. They showed it. They showed it. And to be fair, Mo D's production came right away with the and one going to the left. Then he hits a three. And then as the game progressed, Mo D, he 1 of 4 from 3, but I love the and one going to his left. I think that was in the first or second quarter. I love that he's attacking. I love that he's shooting. I just love the way he plays. When he's in there, good things seem to happen. But when you bring in a point guard that in Alvarado, when Jalen Brunson, after Jalen Brunson is off his heater, I'm talking about on fire in that first quarter. 17. Everyone's going crazy. Yeah, CJ, we couldn't get stops. We couldn't. We could not get stops. So when Brunson goes out the game, in comes Alvarado, and instead of passing the baton, the baton falls on the floor. And you have no point guard. And he gives you 2 turnovers. There was a play where Alvarado got caught in between. Is he going to do the push shot? Is he going to throw the lob to Mitchell Robinson? I believe he wanted to throw the lob to Mitchell Robinson. Then he missed a shot. It was short. Then he turns to it's just a bad 5 minutes. And that led Mike Brown to going to Tyler Kolek in the second half. But in my opinion, too little, too late. Right? They're shorthanded in terms of, Shamet would have been nice tonight. His defense was missed tonight, Landry Shamet. His perimeter defense was missed tonight because Shamet is one of their best on-ball defenders. He is. In my opinion, better than Mikal. Landry Shamet. He was missed tonight with the Hornets and their guards. That's one thing where we're going to, a team like the Hornets, who has a bunch of guards that can put the ball in the basket and create, it's an issue for this Knicks team. But Shamet was missed tonight. His on-ball defense was missed because, look, Brandon Miller, 4 of 8 from 3.
Bruh.
LaMelo Ball, 4 of 9 from 3.
Bruh.
Canepo, 6 of 10 from 3.
Bruh.
I got Grant Williams hitting a 3. So, Shamet was missed. El Figgy says the Jose honeymoon might be over. Oof. It's done. If the Knicks are matched up against a team like the Hornets, Jose, in my opinion, will struggle because you're asking him to defend these bigger guards who can put the ball in the basket. And if he's not producing anything offensively for you and not running the offense offensively for you, he's small. He's not going to contribute on the defensive end. He's not. They're going to cook him. Right? They're going to cook him. So, when is Shamet coming back? They're still calling in day to day, El Figgy. So, we'll see. I mean, the Knicks have 2 days off here. So, Friday, Saturday, and then they play Sunday against OKC. Another national televised game against the Oklahoma City Thunder. I think that's Sunday night basketball. I believe if it's Sunday night basketball, we possibly are the only show playing in the league, which is whatever, but it's a test. Like, it's not going to be an easy game, especially if there's no Shamit. Like, Deuce is rumored to come back during that game. That'll be cool. Like, that'll be really cool if Miles McBride is back against the Oklahoma City Thunder on Sunday. That'll be cool, man. Then he can get his feet wet. He can get acclimated again. He can knock the rust off. Because right now, I just think Alvarado's, he's kind of a net negative. Been playing poorly. Now, I posted a video for the members, and I showed Alvarado when he's in the game, the offense looks good. But when he struggles, right? There's no in between. It's either he's really good or he stinks. And the offense sucks with him on the court. There's no, like, in between with that. So. But hey, you got guys like you have that's why you go out and re-sign Landry Shamet, right? That's why you got Deuce McBride. So Jeremy says the Knicks are stuck with Jose Alvarado next season, $4.5 million player option. The Knicks are $100K below the luxury tax next season with only 8 players on guaranteed contracts. Jeremy, I appreciate you in here. Appreciate you bringing that insight in here. I will talk about that when the season ends, but I really do think Alvarado is still a part of some positive lineups, and it has showed with him on the court. His dishing has been up. When he's confident and he's hitting his threes, he's a different player. Obviously, we know him to be the GTA steals and stuff, but he has had blow-up games. Now, he's not going to have a game like he had in Philadelphia every night, right, when he's hitting, 8 threes or something like that. But I still do think there is a game that Alvarado will propel us in next month in the playoffs. I still do think that. So, but, we've been talking how Mike Brown is going to navigate through this rotation come playoff time. And, I've been kind of pointing at Mo D being the odd man out, but the more I think about it, guys, how can he be the odd man out? He's so valuable for what he brings off that bench. His threes alone. And now he's driving. He's driving. And he's a smart basketball player. Now we'll see how he fares in the playoffs. He's a rookie. So, we'll see if the lights are too bright for him. But I don't think that's going to be the case for him, because I just think from what I've seen from him this year, I just feel like he's built for whatever they throw at him. But if your starting 5 is the same, and I think it's going to stay the same, you're going to cycle the guys off the bench. But I think Mo D just has, am I crazy? I think Mo D has to be in the rotation still. Has to. Now, of course, you can limit his minutes depending on how he looks. But I just think, man, his size alone, 6'9", is going to be very valuable in the playoffs. So. Nostalgia says Deuce is taking Jose's spot. I miss Deuce. So in case you're joining, the rumor is Deuce McBride might be back on Sunday. And that's getting me excited, right? Because more bodies, more perimeter defenders. And when do we start to get nervous about the Shamet injury, though? Is it just the Knicks are not concerned about it because there's 8 games left and we don't really need to push him for what? But he has been injury prone a little bit, and they're calling it a knee bruise, right? Nothing serious. I believe he's traveling with the team, but do you give him the rest of the season off? I don't know. Because to be honest with you guys, if Deuce is coming back, like if this Landry Shamet thing is more than what they're saying, I don't want to see him until the first round. I don't. And now we're getting tweets like this. Hornets versus Knicks. Who wins in the first round matchup? I mean, guys, I know the Hornets are good, but come on. Let's not get crazy. Let's not get crazy, guys. Guys, if that were to ever happen, I am telling you right now, I don't even want to explain the things that will happen. Whether on the stream, in the organization, if that were to ever happen, it's not going to, though. Like, it's silly talk. Because the playoffs are different. But look, I get it if you're a Knicks fan that's nervous about this team, because to be honest, guys, it's March 26th, and yes, we're third in the East, but the Knicks have shown throughout the whole entirety of the season that you don't know what team is going to wake up and play. And I've been telling you guys, like, that's the team that's going to be in the playoffs. Like, that's the team that we're going to see in the playoffs. You don't know which Knicks team's going to show up. You don't. I mean, so. CJ says Mo D got to play stretch defense. League knows he can shoot now. Bench Mikal for Mitch. Nostalgic says we are not playing Charlotte. Nostalgic, there's a world where we can play the Charlotte Hornets in the first round. El Figgy, the Celtics have managed to get 5 role players and make collectively $12 million to get them the 2 seed. Exactly. Size 9 says that Warriors game was real, and I'm going to leave it at that. Appreciate you, Size 9, for hopping in here. Yeah, look. We'll see. Like, that's my response. Like, you're going to be either right or wrong come April. But Nostalgic, there's a world where we could play the Hornets in the first round. If the Knicks stay the 3rd seed, and the Charlotte Hornets, who are a game and a half behind the Toronto Raptors, jump to number 6, it will be Knicks Hornets first round. There's still a world. Still a lot of games left. 8 games left. A lot can happen from now to the end of the season. A lot can happen from now until the regular season. But either way, the Knicks should be able to, if not breeze by the first round, it shouldn't be a problem, guys. Like, Raptors, we own the Raptors, man. Hawks, they've been playing really well. They're actually a team who I think is a sleeper team to knock out somebody as well. But I know I'm kind of talking like on the optimistic side as a Knicks fan currently. And maybe I'm crazy come April and I'm like, dude, I can't believe what I'm watching right now from this current Knicks team. But then again, I can. But I just don't think there's a world where this Knicks team has trouble in the first round. Because if there is, then, you know, that'll be an issue itself, but it's first to 4, right? It's not first to 2. It's not first to 1. Will they lose some games? I don't think it's going to be a breeze. I guess I like contradicting myself when I said the Knicks are not going to have trouble, and then I'm like, they're going to lose some games. But I just don't think there's a world where they lose in the first round, right? Like Kobe said, it's first to 4. And what this Knicks team has shown is like, look, they can be dominant, but nights like tonight, they can be bad. And they weren't really that bad. They were just off defensively. and outplayed on the rebounding side. So CJ says Charlotte's in the play-in. Yeah. Look, again, I just laid out they're in the play-in now, but the way they're playing, man, I wouldn't be surprised if they jump in the top 6. I wouldn't. The games are separated by a game and a half. CJ, 2 games from number 9 to number 5. The Hornets are number 9, and they're 2 games behind the Atlanta Hawks for number 5. Yeah, Figgy. If we don't make it past the second round, big changes are coming, and I'm not talking about the coach. This roster is not going to be the same. It's not. And I could say that even if they don't make it past the Eastern Conference Finals, I don't think this roster is going to be the same. Right? Because at that point, it just hasn't worked. So, we'll see. Appreciate you guys in the chat. Once again, subscribe, like, all the good stuff. You guys can catch me on Knicks Nation on Instagram, at Knicks Nation, on X, at Knicks Nation, on YouTube, obviously, at Knicks Nation. I'm going to get off this and hop off here. Leave you guys with that. Have a great night. Look out for the podcast coming soon, so look out for that. Appreciate the members in here. As always, it's Let's Go Knicks. And let's go win a game on Sunday. I'm Anthony from Knicks Nation. Appreciate every single one of you guys. Peace.